Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. Yes, the freezing has worked ish, kind of. Um, Whoever has had this at some point has spilt a lot of glue around various places because all this that hasn't come off of the model is glued on. So we've got bits of brown all in the shoulder pad, we've got some green on the top here, everything where it was mounted on the seat. As you can see, the rest of it is pretty decent. Along the back, because this has had a snap at some point, and a lot of it all over the engine. But I think some of it is also washers, but I could be mistaken. But all in all, it's cleaned up pretty well. It's still a little bit damp because I soaked it and everything. I may take a knife to some of these bits. I'm still yet to get a new knife. Definitely need to do that because yeah, some of these bits are thick with glue. I'm not sure if the camera's even picking that up right, but yeah, you see around the rim of that thing, there's an awful lot of glue, and it's kind of just all over everything really. So I'm going to do a bit more cleanup. Then I have, oh, dropping the plug on the floor. Got myself a hairdryer, and I'm going to bend it all back into shape. Then I'm going to have a nice think about whether or not I'm going to pin it and how to do so. So, time for some cleanup. Oh, also as well, I just literally moved my camera and then I realised I forgot to talk about the accidents. This part here is part of the rear of the chassis, which is, where is it? This bit. So, as you can see, these are very bent, and the groove that's inside it, if you look at it, come on camera, focus on that for me please. If you look at it dead on like that, the groove is actually off center. So when it's been mounted, it's like that. Yeah, I don't know if that's intentional. I don't know if that is so it goes with the back of the base because of this raised section, I'm guessing. But this thruster is the other issue because it was mounted very, very wonky. And I'm hoping that I can actually get it to mount correctly. And that, to me, seems like it is possible. Now, could I pin that? Probably not. Is this all it mounts with? Like so. And then it's just down onto the body. Not backwards. Or just as is. Strange. Strange it's just on that, like that. You can do it down or you can do it up, I'm guessing. Is it worthwhile trying to do it straight on and pin it? I don't know. Because it's weird. It's weird how it goes. I think it should be down. Yeah, probably on there and down a little bit. But when you bring it down like that, it goes a little bit off kilter, so... Maybe it is just meant to go flat. Because I can't see it being all the way back like that. That's a bit too much. Yeah. Weird. Yeah, anyway, I'll get Restic glue off this and see how it goes from there. Yeah, because that hole's really filled with glue. That end is fine. That one's stuck in and snapped. So, yeah. Great stuff. Still more cleany beanie. Ah. Okay, so we are back. And this is the second time trying to record this now. My camera seems to not want to focus at all, so I'm going to move him slowly. And you see his arm over here. There is a big gouge, which I have managed to plug with glue. And I'm going to see how bad it is after priming as to whether or not he needs more work. The side of his head also had a big gouge just there on the base of his jaw. Somebody has literally cut him to pieces. It's the same under the arm here as well. You can see how there's a point. Somebody has stabbed something in there and broke him apart at some point in his lifetime. The reason why there is such excessive black buildup is somebody's washed it at some point and not washed it thoroughly. So all of this here is like an amalgamation of different types of paint, I believe, because I can't get it off. Plus, there's probably layers of super glue mixed in there and all sorts. So, yeah, a big mess. I've got the majority of it off, but some of it just will not shift, and I don't want to risk doing any more poking and prodding and damaging the model any more than he already is. So, he is fine. Then we have the guns ready. As you can tell by the innards, one has snapped, one hasn't. This one hasn't, this one has. But I've just put the bullets on ready. This one does have its ejected bullets, this one never did, and neither of them have handles or tassels, which is a little bit of a shame, but it's not the end of the world. So they're ready to go. The base, yeah, it's not super clean, but it's a base. You know, it's completely fine. It's not the end of the world. And as for the tracks, the top halves are fine. The bottoms, there's still quite a lot of big super glue chunks, and I've stabbed myself about 7 times trying to remove them. So I gave up. I managed 2.5. So yeah, but the insides have cleaned up pretty well. That's the snapped section. That was a bit that I thought I had damaged, but was already damaged, as the inside had been completely filled with glue. So looking at the main chassis, the legs, well, what do you want to call them? Footrests, kickstands, whatever. Well, they're not kickstands, are they? They're not gear changes either, are they? They could be. Yeah, gear change and a brake. Yeah, gear change and brake. They got snapped off by myself. I don't know whether they had been repaired or not before, but this one I've knocked off 4 or 5 times, and this last time it has gone on wonky, which is probably glue build-up, but it doesn't look wonky from the top end, so that will be completely fine. The handlebars, I've been trying to hair dry this one into a better position, because this one, somebody had chopped it off and there is a big gap between the socket and the bar, and I've had to pack all that up, and I'm hoping that this mask will disguise that, because again, this isn't a new kit. It's had some abuse in its life, but I'm just trying to breathe life back into it. So yeah, mask is done. Got the front on. Same thing again with the is either the paint or excessive washing, I don't know, but that's back on now. I've hair dried the whole back end, and I've twisted it back round so it actually sits straight with the rest of the vehicle, and it stands up on its own, even though it's on my wonky mat bit. I've re-put on all the what would they be? Fuel cells, maybe? Compressed air? I would have thought. Yeah, compressed air or fuel or both. Whatever they are, they're on there now. I broke those off, taking them off, but I knew how they've gone back together. There wouldn't be a problem in the slightest, or even noticeable, because of the mounts themselves. So that's good. Then the underside, we got a big chunk of glue here. I couldn't get any more of it off. I got most of the cable free, but it is what it is. Sadly, just a little bit too much for, yeah, hand tools. Then lastly, we've got this bit, and I've snapped this side in 2 places, one there, one right at the base, and I thought it was my own doing. I thought I had done something a little bit too heavy-handed and broke it, but it turned out that along the top edge it had been stabbed previously, near enough all the way through. Then it had been filled with glue, so it was left sprained. So by me actually snapping it, I've straightened it out, which is just crazy. But for some reason it has fallen off. How have you fallen off? Wow. That needs more attention. Okay, fair dues. But that then goes onto there like so, and as you can see, it is all relatively square with everything else, so it looks pretty well. Yeah, all in all, not too bad. So the myth about freezers separating parts is not a myth, and it certainly works. But if it's your own model that you're separating and you know you haven't broke it, then you're fine. If you're just doing random ones off of eBay, I wouldn't, honestly, unless you're really, really dead set and it's something super rare or whatever. I wouldn't bother. It's been a lot more hassle than it's worth. It's taken about 2 weeks of going in and out of the freezer constantly, so it takes a very, very long time. But yeah, I think I'll just re-straighten this piece here, leave it to dry. Then I think it's priming, and I'm going to take it into my local G-Dub tomorrow, and I think that's what I'll probably base coat and maybe do some bits on, but I'll see how we go. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow we'll have some results. And there we go. One Zenithold War Boss ready for tomorrow. Yay! Should be an interesting day. Yeah. Keeping this as one piece is kind of making me nervous. I don't know, because I have a feeling these are going to come off again, and then I'm probably going to do something to the front, knowing me. But yeah, it is what it is, whatever. It'll be fine. Anyway, everything is nicely zenithal. We've got like sun coming from this way, so it is actually darker on this side than it is on this side, and that's because he sits slightly angled as well when he's on his base. Also, we got nice shading already on these back platings, so that should honestly be pretty good with some contrast, I think, just as is. And then is obviously, because he is Bad Moons, he will be having gold in a lot of places. Most of the things on his boots will be gold. Maybe his blade itself might be gold, and I think I'm going to try out Retributor armor, and I think most of this plate here will be gold. I might just put gold teeth on it and leave this as metal because it's got that big weld line down it. But saying that, the same... Oh no, I'll do these yellows, yeah, because same's there. So I'll do that yellow, teeth gold, this yellow, that gold, metalwork silver. The thruster, I think I will do the main body silver, these canisters copper, and then the pipes black probably. Then his belt this belt on his weapon will be black, the chain will be black, his pipe will be wire, sorry, that will be red because electrical and all that jazz. And he's got a little battery pack, so I might do that red, and then just your bog standard brown for everything else with a touch of highlighting on patches and stitches. So it should be pretty straightforward, I think. Do I need to give him a gammy eye though? Do I leave it white like that? Leave him just a solid white eye? That does look pretty spooky. I might do that. Yeah. And then a bit of bone. So, yeah. And then the emblem on his chest, I'll probably just do that bog standard yellow as well. So could do some prep now, get some colours out. So we're going to use Ushabti Bone. We're going to use Mephiston Red. We're going to base him with Deathwold Forest, but also dry brush with Scrag Brown afterward. Then we need Flash Kits Yellow for touch-ups and Bad Moon Yellow contrast. Then we got Dark Oak Flesh, which is decent. Got some Rattling Grime to try. Some Black Templar to try for the underside maybe. And some Snakebite Leather as well. Then some hash up copper. I always say that one wrong. Some hash up copper. Some good old lead belcher. Some orc flesh to try. And some of the Shaiish purple that I used many moons ago on the Mega Nub for testing. I'm going to use that on the bare metals for undershading. And I think that might be it. Oh no. Retributor armor, of course. Then I'll need dry brush. Again, it all has to be GW legal because I'm going into the store to do this. You can see the end result after having some fun for a day. Layer. Yeah, layer would be good. And a shade. Small layer and a medium shade. That should do me. And then do I need a crappier variant maybe? Yeah. Crappier variant here for all over washers and stuff is a very old Citadel starter brush. And that's everything I'll be taking. I've got a camera by my mouth. I've got a microphone near enough on my forehead whilst I'm trying to do this. And it is fully obscuring my view. So if I'm going all over the place, I apologise. But here he is. Right, I'm going to take him off. We'll look at him last. And here's the base. It's not super great, but it has a nice variation in colour. And what I did is I put some inks on it. Then I dropped some of the purple contrast paint on it, that Shaiish purple, in dots, and just kind of bled it all through into each other. As you can see, we've got a lot of yellow and green over here, and we've got a bit more reddy tones along this side. And I think, all in all, it doesn't look too bad. I know it's not anything fantastic. It's not super highlighted. We've got a messy edge all the way around the thing. But it's good, I think. I think the whole extreme bases isn't really what I'm going for. I like the simple bases because it puts more emphasis on the model itself. But that's just me. I think I'm just old school with the whole like paint everything goblin green and leave it like that. But anyway, enough about the base because that still needs cleaning up. I went into my Games Workshop, hence why I have all my Games Workshop tools. I got one of these. I'm sorry, I've got shakes at the minute. Camera, thank you. Right, got one of these mold line removal tools, and it's not bad. It's not bad. It's good at some things. Very good at some things. Long flat panels, boom, done, amazing. No cutting, no errors, fantastic. Intricate stuff, still knife, definitely still the knife. And clippers, you've seen clippers. I'm a nail file. I think this is from the 80s. And look at that. I think I stole it off my mum when I was a kid. Yeah, 70s or 80s that thing, but blooming heck. There we go. Right, okay, so bike. I painted it with contrasts. I did the metals, and I did the tank red and the cables red and everything like that. And I wasn't happy. And these were originally silver. And this was also silver. And I thought it wasn't flamboyant enough to be a Bad Moon's bike. So I brought it back home and I had an evening just poking extra colour on it. So from this angle, the sun is coming from the camera and hitting the miniature this way. That's what I'm trying to do. So I've emphasized this and the top here, and I've done a bit on this gun, but I'm not even sure if the camera can pick this up right because my lamp just isn't playing ball correctly. How about if I angle it like that-ish? Kind of. You can kind of see if it focuses. This is hard when you got shakes. I do apologize. This gun, it's very blobby in its colour, and then it doesn't fade very well there. I think you can just about see the line. I'll try and put a zoom on it whilst I'm editing. But yeah, I think I need some better lighting next. But anyway, so I did gold straps on the tank, give them a nice wash, just in red. Then a little bit of orange accents and whatnot to just show a little bit of sheen, just a quick tickle. You know what I mean? The other side I didn't, because this is the darker side, so I tried to put a little bit of a shading as such on it, but it didn't really go very well. Then the pegs are just gold. Well, they're accelerators, aren't they? Hence my little interlude. They're just gold and wash. Tires, gold and wash. Red brakes, red cables. You know what I mean? So all in all, I think it's decent. It's decent for the time spent on it. But is it good? No, it's not. It's not good enough for a Bad Moon's bike at all. It needs more pizzazz, and I'm going to have to work on that as well. So it goes on its base. You actually have these little markings here, and you have two studs which are shorter on the wheel, and they're actually meant to go into those there, and then you line the bike up on the base, so it actually sits like that. That is how it sits. That is why that thing at the back was off kilter, because it does sit off kilter on the back. It's to level it up slightly, and that's what it is, like so. But anyway, here is the boss. Can we see him decent even with my shakes ish? I managed to retain his white eye from the Zenithal. I thought it looked outstanding, so I tried to do that. I'm going to adjust this light again. Can we see his face? Yes, we can. Right, so his mouth, his teeth, everything like that, his nails, brilliant. I ain't got a problem with them. His yellow armor, again, brilliant. I ain't got a problem with it. His leathers are actually pretty decent. The contrasted wonders on that. I gave them a little bit of an extra dry brush and then contrasted again, so it's had like 2 layers of contrast on it to darken it up. I think it's rhinox hide. Is it? No. What's the leather contrast called? I can't remember. Anyway, it's just that on both. But we had a strange pooling here from under that shoulder pad, and I don't know why, because I've mopped everything up on it. Oh, please, camera, focus. There we go. You see it there? I mopped everything up, but we've still got this really big pooling. Red battery pack, copper connectors, red wires, copper motor, yellow accents on the blade. His hands all nice and done. Just basic metal for everything else. It's not rusty because it's Bad Moon's. They have all the best bits. And his skin itself, if you look underneath, it looks dire. It looks horrible. It was like that all the way over from the orc skin contrast paint. Not really happy with it. So I've started to try and bring his levels up a bit. We've got like a bit of a mid-tone going on, and that was about as far as I got with him, sadly. So he needs a bit more of a tickle. He needs jazzing up. He needs different coloured metal parts, maybe some flames outwards from his shoulder, freehand. A little bit something nice on this plate as well. His boots, I think, come out really, really well, and I don't need to do anything with them. Please focus, camera, please. Yes, I know I've got shakes, but please. Professional YouTuber here, honestly. I don't get why it's not focusing. Why is it struck? It's because my thumb's shaking, that's what it is. Look at my hand. Wow. Can you tell I'm poorly? Yeah, so then we've got a nice little skull here, which... oh, come on, please, camera, please. I just need to do a bit of a sheen on the top. He's had a slight pull in, but aside from that, the rest of it has come out pretty tasty. Then his big yellow skull on front is fine, and all his straps and everything are done, and his necklacey rope thing is done as well. But yes, the yellows are brilliant. He's got a nice amount of contrast. I just need to bring his skin levels up and stick some freehand on him. I think he'll be perfected, honestly. Same with the bike, just a bit of freehand, some flames and whatever. Speaking of the bike, I did red button as well, because that's either the gun or the boost. I don't even know which one it is. I believe it's the boost, but I don't know what activates the guns, because they're accelerators, these two. You lift them up to make you go backwards and down to go forwards. That's your booster. So there isn't actually a button for the gun. Or is it that? But I reckon that's front brake. Strange. It's missing a button. It's missing a button. Completely unplayable. No, not quite that bad. But yeah, that is him. He can have a tickle every now and again. We've got Big Mech over here as well. As you've seen him before, I've started tickling him, leveling up his yellows a bit more. Let's bring the camera down. Not whack the microphone. Let's move the mic. Move the mic, move the camera. Wow. Okay, there we go. Now then, that's a bit better of a shot. As you can see, that skin is awful. Now, have I got something I can point with? What's this thing? Yeah, this will do. Right, so on his cheekbone there, you see that sort of higher green, because I was working on that area the most. I was trying to get his face levels right. That higher level of green is what needs to be on his head. But if I spin him like so, you can see here, either side of his scratches, there is a white line. And I have no idea why that's forming. Oh my days, that has took 10 minutes to get the camera to focus again. I really don't understand what is up with this. But either way, we can see what's going on with the face now. So there on that bit, I started building up a nice mid-level. The top lips here I started as well, and you can see on the hands as well, we've got a lighter on the top. I'm not going to move him, but up here you can also see the same thing on the hand, and I've done the same on the biceps up here and whatever. So that's what needs doing, and you can actually see the white line just here, either side of those cuts, and that I believe is still the resin, and I don't understand why it won't let me paint on it. Something's been put on it and it's slippy, I think, to the paint, and I haven't been holding him like so or anything like that to knock the paint off. I generally grab him by his elbow and his foot, so if anything his elbow might have lost some paint, but no, it hasn't, and it's really, really strange. But like I'm saying, he just needs a tickle on his skin and some freehand. Probably stick some 13s on it somewhere. Maybe fill in this battle damage bit here a bit better. But yeah, aside from that, and missing these here, now that I've zoomed the camera in, I can see that I've missed that and that. So they need some gold on them. And that should hopefully be him done. So yeah, another one kind of ticked off the list yet again. Wanting to rush through, getting to the point where they are table ready opposed to show ready or anything like that. You know, I'm not pushing the absolute extremes with it. That can come later on. I just need bikes so I can play the game and have some fun and learn. And then after that, I can start taking it steady and working on the collection. But anyway, thank you very, very much for watching. I'm sorry again about the awful Zoom thing. I'm going to have to spend some time Googling up some answers and whatnot and see why I'm having so many issues with the thing. Because look, if I move him, I'm guessing he's just going to go straight out of focus. Yep, look at that. Wow, fantastic. Anyway, don't forget, take care of yourselves. Let me know how you get on. And you know what? I'll give you all some hobby homework as well if you like. Yeah? Do you want another hobby homework? Hobby homework for this week is what I'm going to be doing with this guy. So we're talking higher levels. Higher levels. So instead of just making everything a mid-tone and a shadow, bring out those highlights proper. And yeah, add me on Instagram or anything like that, or Twitter or whatnot. Show me your work. I want to see it. I want to see how you're all getting on. It'll be nice, you know. Or if you want to support me, I do have a Patreon, like I say. But yeah, that's that. Another job kind of done and extremely out of focus. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. And here we go, just a final one before I leave. I have got it working. I have to manually adjust the focus with a separate program, not OBS, not its standard software, but a hub program. But anyway, it's done. I do have to adjust it, then close the program, then exit it out of my taskbar down at bottom right of Windows. Then I have to open OBS and hope that I've got it at the right level, or else my microphone doesn't work. Yeah, I've got no idea about it, but hey ho, it's working at least. Anyway, take care of yourselves. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye.